Shout out to Cats Pawd.
A great defensive play for Montana State.
Touchdown, Tommy Malott is electrifying.
Welcome to the Cats Pod. What's up, Podcats? We are back after an amazing Gold Rush weekend in which both of your hosts here got a little bit too inebriated to record a podcast earlier this week. Is that fair to say, Eric? Is that what we're going to blame it on?
Just a little. Yeah, just a little.
Yeah, we definitely enjoyed Gold Rush and enjoyed talking with all the fans that we apparently have, or just people that happen to listen to us.
Yeah, man, it was just so exciting to be back at Bobcat Stadium for the first time and since the North Dakota State loss, and it was that place is just getting crazier, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah. I couldn't believe how loud the crowd was and how rowdy everyone was, even though the game was in a complete blowout.
Dude, it was. I mean, that atmosphere was rocking. I love those night games.
Yeah, I am not gonna lie. When we were talking about the scoreboard quite a bit in the off season, but every time you'd bring it up, I would kind of make fun of it a little bit, and I'd be like, what is this scoreboard? Like, it's not that big a deal. It's a big jumbotron, whatever. And then when they did that intro for the Cats to come out for that game, it was 90 degrees outside, and I had literal goosebumps.
Yeah, dude,
I couldn't
I was
explain
on the
it.
roof when that started. That was nuts. I couldn't believe how good that was.
Yeah, it was crazy. The new scoreboard is awesome. And everybody was just so hungry for some football, like to be at a game and to enjoy it and watch the Cats play, because they were chomping at the bit for just the team to blow the other team out. I kind of felt bad for the other team at times because it was just like this crowd's going absolutely bonkers and we're up 35-0.
Yeah, and I think it's fair to say that the student section hadn't consumed any alcoholic beverages at all.
Yeah. It might as well have been the student section at a BYU game.
Because they were unbelievably loud. I mean, shout out to those guys because they were just. I mean, I've never heard them like that, honestly.
I feel like it's not a Gold Rush game or it's not a Bobcat game until you've seen like some 18-year-old freshman who can barely stand in the tailgates.
There was just a couple of those.
And we only saw just a couple. Yeah. Only a couple of them. But yeah, I every time I'm excited for it, and every time it meets or exceeds my expectations, every time we go to a game.
Dude, 100%.
It makes me want to go every single week. Every single home game, I always want to be there.
Dude, so I got this old teacher from high school of mine. Every week he posts what his new streak of Bobcat home games is.
Uh-huh.
Right, after this Gold Rush, he hit 160 consecutive home games.
Wow.
That is insane.
That's dedication. That's the dream right there. That man is living the dream.
I mean, he sat through some crap too.
So, like, how many home games do you get? Like
times when it probably wasn't so much fun to watch Bobcat football as it is now.
I mean, we get 6 or 7 home games a year.
Yeah,
6?
maybe.
That's years and years of making every single game.
Yeah, if there's 6 a year, that's 10 years.
Yeah, more than 10 years.
16 years, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be 16 years of not missing a single game. That's insane.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
Jealous, very jealous.
Yeah, should we talk about a little bit about the excitement that we saw of gameplay?
Oh yeah, for sure. Should we start it from the top
that
and run it?
offensive line is unreal.
Oh yeah.
They're getting like 5 yards of push on every snap.
Yep. Every single time, they didn't have to play that many snaps. It felt like because we were scoring every 2 plays.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, it was. I honestly couldn't believe just the kind of push they were getting, and our running backs. I mean, we're kind of beating a drum here at this point, but
Yeah.
what else? What is left to say about these guys?
Yeah. I
I
saw
mean,
I saw a new nickname for him on Instagram the other day. One of the Montana State football videos that they released, and they were calling him. I think it was the Sauce Squad or something. And I was like, I don't know if I'm into this or
Sasquatch.
not, but then I kind of got into it after a minute. I'll have to find it.
Yeah, dude, it was. I mean, Humphrey, unbelievable. I mean, 4 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I
Yep.
mean, that's that's insane.
That is a
Adam
dumb
Jones.
stat line.
Adam Jones was like 4 carries for 70 yards.
Yeah.
I mean,
Four
I mean,
carries for 63
we're
on
talking
that one.
about some production on these guys. That's, I mean, I don't know that I've seen this. I mean,
No.
we used to see this from Tommy and Sean once in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but like 8 carries for 173 yards.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. It's absolutely crazy what they are doing, and it's now happening on a consistent basis. It's something that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
seeing every single week. Doesn't matter the level of competition. The offensive line is making these massive holes, and nobody is going through them quicker than these running backs. I don't know. Obviously, with who we're playing right now, it's kind of hard to gauge things, but I don't see a team being able to neutralize the run game.
I mean, just the sheer number of ways they can hurt you in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
It does. I have a hard time believing that anybody's going to be able to stop it. I mean, what would you consider stopping at this point? Is 200 yards a win? 200 rushing yards?
200 yards is a massive win at this point. If somebody
mean,
holds us under
what were we-
300
we
yards,
were-
I would call that a win.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't look at the rushing total, but it had to have been over 360.
I think it was 450. No, it wasn't quite
I
there.
mean,
but
the production from these guys is on another planet right now.
yeah,
And it starts up front with the big boys just feasting on these guys.
yeah.
I mean, we're talking about, you know, now you can take Utah Tech to be whatever it is, but we're
Mhm.
talking about FBS New Mexico, and we're talking about, you know, a FCS Maine team that had quite a few transfers, you know, a
Mhm.
quarterback that played in the playoffs, and they ran for over 400 yards on him. That's unbelievable.
And that quarterback against our defense, he looked very shook the entire game.
Oh my gosh,
He was
dude.
running
How
for
many
his
times-
life.
How many times did he throw it away? I mean, Greeby was trying to chew his backbone out.
Yep. I was saying I think the leading receiver for Maine's team was the Bobcat fans. Because every other play that quarterback had to chuck it 20 yards into the crowd in order to stay safe.
Yeah. I mean, we gave a lot of love to the offense. The defense was as shut down as it gets.
Yep.
I mean, it was never even sniffed these. I mean, these guys were the defense made them look terrible.
Mm-hmm. I was
Yeah, I
being a
don't
little bit
know.
hyperbolic on the rush yards. We got 344 for rush yards, so, you know.
344.
Yeah.
Well, still. That's still an insane amount of rush yards.
Yep.
No, I think the way this team is kind of rounding out right now with what they've been able to put together with, you know, I wouldn't call them devastating injuries, but, you know,
Mhm.
some lingering things that have kept stars like JT Reed and Julius Davis, you know, sidelined for the last 3 weeks. What they've been able to accomplish in the meantime is
Mhm.
awfully. I mean, I think it should be well above what we expected.
Yeah, I mean, we expected it to be a lot more rough than it is now. And I mean, we had to make that huge comeback in New Mexico. So it wasn't the prettiest win, but it was still a win versus an FBS school. And obviously I don't know a ton about any other teams out there, but I can't imagine any other team could lose their number one running back and have their have their center out and be playing this well. How many teams could lose their starting center on the offensive line and still have gaps like this?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, that I mean, I didn't even list him, and I mean, we're talking about three injuries that could derail a season for
Mm-hmm.
anyone else. But we're sitting awful pretty right now.
Yeah, everything has gone about as perfectly as you could want it to at this point.
Yeah, and speaking of the defense and giving them a little bit of love,
Oh,
the way they're rounding into form right now, you can kind of tell guys are starting to feel it even more. I
mm-hmm.
mean, we're down a couple pretty significant players on defense still, and it has never been. This game was 35-0 at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Before we pulled the starters, it was 35 nothing.
Yep.
That is, I don't care who you're playing. That's an incredible defense, man. I mean, it just goes back to show you that they really knew what they were doing when they hired Daly to be the DC.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that that could go down as an all-time move right there.
Mm-hmm. This
I mean, he
defense is
gets
looking
it.
sharp. They don't make any mistakes. They just hold people in check on every single play. They haven't made a ton of
Yeah,
huge plays, but every single play they have done their job perfectly. It's
yeah,
like execution at its finest.
it's awfully impressive what the defense has done, and I we wanted to see a little bit of what the backups could bring, and boy, their main starting offense
Mm-hmm.
still struggled at times against our second and mostly third string guys.
Yep, they definitely did. And I noticed
Also,
they started pulling defense a lot before they were pulling offense. Like it was
they
earlier
did not.
that they
Yeah, I
switched.
mean, Greeby was sitting out quite a few plays, and
Yep.
yeah, yeah, they didn't play those guys 100%, but
Mm-hmm.
awfully. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, offense is a juggernaut. The defense is as stingy as you can possibly get. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel as confident as I ever have
Yep.
going into conference play in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting when we actually get to these conference games. We got one more not so great one to sit through when we go play
Yeah,
play against Mercyhurst, the Shamrocks, the Shamrock Shakes. But after that, then we get into some conference play. It's not super strong at the beginning, but I'm excited for it either way. You know.
oh yeah. I mean, but like we were talking about, man, I mean, it just gives these guys a little extra time to be 100% healthy.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically going to be, what is it, 6 weeks into the season before they have, a real strong opponent,
Yeah.
something like that. I mean, they're going to be the majority, over halfway through the season before they have to play somebody that's, you know, pretty decent.
Yeah. That's why that.
Aside from New Mexico, of
Yeah.
course.
That's why that New Mexico game was so important. Winning that game is going to be so huge when it comes to playoff seeding and stuff like that later in the season, because otherwise you would have a lot of people talking about how easy that first section of games is.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, yeah. No, we have a real gauntlet toward the end, but I mean, to get tested like that at New Mexico, have a couple, subpar games that really can figure out the mechanics of the offense and the defense,
Mm-hmm.
and then going into a couple of conference games that are, yeah, and then starting the gauntlet. I mean, this is ideal if I
Yep.
if I was going to say so myself.
And we haven't had to open up the playbook at all.
No.
So far, what's on film right now is the one triple option little pass that Tommy scored a touchdown on against Utah Tech. That was a
Yeah.
little bit out of the ordinary. But other than that, you're watching film of the Bobcats. You're watching run up the middle, run up the middle, run up the outside. Like, run around the edge, run up the middle. Stuff that they know we're going to do. Stuff that everybody knows how to defend, but nobody can defend when it comes to the Cats right now.
Yeah. I mean, and even what they're doing in what this extremely limited passing game we've seen is really, it's pretty routine stuff that, I mean, and Tommy's been very good.
Yeah.
12 for 15.
Insane. Let the man chuck the ball. Let Tommy cook. Come on. Let Tommy cook.
Yeah. I mean, we all kind of wondered before this season what it was going to be like with a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, how things were going to round into form. And man, I'm here to say, I think it incredible hires, really.
Oh yeah. Everything looks super solid right now, and it's early season. So the fact that everything's so tight is impressive. Yeah,
dude. Gold Rush was a blast. I had so much fun watching them kick the snot out of Maine.
Yeah,
that was pretty darn good.
There was one thing that I was pretty disappointed in at Gold Rush, and that was that our dude Rohan Jones did not get to dance.
Yeah,
I'm sure he probably danced on the sideline at some point. He's a very fun dude, but he did not get to dance in the end zone. So that did not make me happy. It did not make me smile. But there was a lot of other plays that could make me smile.
Rohan's gonna feast later on. They're just saving his big stuff for big games.
Yeah,
he's gonna have a lot of touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Don't got to worry about Maine.
Yeah.
So don't need to fully unleash the Rohan for Maine. All right. Do you want to start talking about games from last week?
Yeah, and there was a lot of really good ones.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was all the way through the Big Sky Conference. There was a lot of, honestly, I think, entertaining games. I mean, of course, we were at Gold Rush, so we didn't really pay attention to much other than that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, followed along with the Grizzly game while it was going. But that was really about the extent of what we watched. But I mean, it was a pretty interesting go, because you had Northern Arizona taking on Arizona, and that game was close for a while.
Way closer than you would think it is. It was going to be,
Yeah, I mean, it was Northern Arizona was winning at halftime.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. I mean, they ended up losing by 12, but they really shut down a ranked FBS team for the most part.
Yeah. The line for this game was 37.5 points.
Yeah.
And they lost by 12. That is a huge win if you're a Northern Arizona squad that's been kind of middling. And that shows a lot, because this is an Arizona team that just blew out New Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was awfully, I mean, just for them, and somebody that we didn't give any real credit to at all.
Yeah.
Really was not too bad.
Yeah. They're definitely somebody to keep an eye on throughout the season, see how their early matchups go in the Big Sky. They may be a surprise team that we see up towards the top, looking for a playoff bid.
Yeah. Next one, Idaho knocks off FBS Wyoming.
This was the second biggest surprise, or this was the biggest surprise of the day for me.
Yeah, when we picked this game, I gave the edge to Wyoming because they're a bigger school. But we did think that there was a chance. It just, going in with a backup quarterback, you kind of wondered if Idaho could string it together, and they sure as heck could.
I wish we would have had the lines up for this game. I'm on Fox Sports this week instead of ESPN, and it's showing a lot more betting lines on here. But the line for that Idaho-Wyoming game was just plus 7.5. So it was slated to be a close game. They obviously didn't have Idaho as the favorite, but knowing that, it probably would have changed at least a little bit of the way I looked at the game.
Yeah. I mean, but we did think that it was going to be a close game. We were pretty sure that Idaho was going to give them, the defense was going to give Wyoming some troubles, and Wyoming loses. So congrats to Idaho. That makes our game against Idaho that much more exciting.
Yeah, that'll be a huge game, and that's the ESPN game, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Next one, Idaho State beat Western Oregon, which I'm pretty sure Western Oregon was not even in the
Pretty
FCS.
sure they're
So,
NAIA.
yeah, so
They're NAIA.
I mean, we were pretty sure that was going to happen.
Yep, no big deal. The Bengals did what they're supposed to do and beat them. You know.
Yeah. I think we can skip over the Montana one for right now.
Yep.
And move on to Stanford mopping the floor with Cal Poly.
Yeah.
Called that.
Sorry, Cal Poly, but things are not looking great for you right now.
Not even Ben would pick them.
Hey, they did beat the spread, though.
Yeah. Colorado State beat the tar out of Northern Colorado.
Yeah.
And we figured that was going to happen. No
you
real
did.
surprise there.
Okay, whatever you say. I was shocked that Colorado State beat Northern Colorado this bad. Absolutely shocked. 3 touchdowns. My Bears need to make sure that they start bringing it every week, because I'm not going to keep up this fandom if they keep disappointing me like this.
Yeah. Dude, Cal Poly and Northern Colorado are the dumpster fires of the Big Sky Conference. And
Hey, don't talk about my boys that way, okay? Them's fighting words, all right? We don't need to start this right now.
Next, we have Drake beating Eastern Washington, and now that one is a surprise.
Yeah.
Drake should not have beat those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're being totally honest, Drake gave up 393 passing yards.
Yeah. And still won the game.
Oh, sorry. Drake had 393 passing yards.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had 2 receivers go over 100 yards.
So the secondary for Eastern Washington may still be a problem.
Might be a little sus.
Might be a little bit suspect.
Yeah. Let's see what Efton Chisholm, 9 catches for 65 yards and a touchdown. Still a threat.
Yeah.
Guy's good.
And he gets so many
Drake
receptions too. Like, he's always open, it feels like.
Yeah. So that's a bad look for old Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
And they did it on the godforsaken red field. Congrats.
I guess this was an overtime game. I didn't notice that. Obviously, we didn't get a chance to watch it, but I didn't realize it went to overtime.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to not believe in these Fox Sports betting odds, because they had Drake as plus 32.5. Is that the real line? We thought Eastern Washington would win, but I didn't think that they were favored by that much.
Boy, that's a lot. I mean, Drake was a playoff team last year. I mean, they got beat 63-3 by NDSU, but they were still a playoff team.
Still very much a playoff team, yeah.
And Eastern Washington didn't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that betting line. I'd take that one with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's a little bit sketchy. I'm not believing it.
And if that was true, I wish I would have hammered it.
Yeah. Absolutely murder that line.
Let's see. Next we have Weber State. Yeah, they smoked Portland State. So Portland State is not good.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, pretty poor showing from old Portland State.
Yeah. And Weber State just doing Weber State things, making themselves the toughest team to read in the entire world. Because they will have an absolutely horrible game, and then they will have a very good game. And then they will have an absolutely horrible game where we're going to try and bury them again, and then they're going to beat somebody good probably.
So looking at Weber State's stats, their running back took him 15 carries to get 130 yards. So
Soft.
yeah, not very good.
So many carries. So many carries.
And 75 of those yards came on one.
Mm-hmm.
That was his long. So
sounds like a lucky play to me.
Yep. He only had like 60 yards on 14 carries after that. So
Oh yeah. Not
yeah,
the best
Portland
stats there.
State's not good.
It's not
good
a
at
great
all.
average.
Next, Fresno State beat Sac State. Fairly close game.
Mm-hmm.
Sac State just can't. They just can't hang.
No.
Just kind of what we figured. They can run with them for a little while, but this one kind of looks like in the third quarter, Fresno State just smoked them.
Yeah. And Sac State's been putting themselves up against some heavy competition, so I don't know when they plan on giving themselves a break, but I think they deserve it.
Yeah, would they have 3 FBS in a row or
I
2
wanna
out of
say
3?
That's what it was. I'm not exactly sure, though.
Yeah. No, Sac State they're just not on the same level of a lot of the guys they're playing right now, and I foresee that to be true pretty much for their conference games too when they start playing us and some of the bigger dogs. I just don't see it from Sac State.
The good thing for Sac State is next week they have Nichols, so I think that'll go a lot better for them. But they did have San Jose State and then Fresno State, so they gave themselves some tough games to start off the season for sure.
Yeah. And next, UC Davis beat Texas A&M Commerce. So I thought UC Davis might beat them a little worse than that, but still got the job done.
Win's a win. There might have been some garbage time touches in this. Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like UC Davis was up 22-0 right before halftime.
Yep.
So, yeah, they came back and
22-7, up quite a bit. Yeah, fourth quarter didn't go well for them.
Let's see. Lan Larison, 28 for 123. So, yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. Could be a problem.
Yeah. 3 catches for 50 yards. So, yeah, pretty strong outing from Lan Larison. So, definitely somebody to watch for sure.
Oh, we only say his name every week many, many times. So,
yeah.
If people haven't gotten the message by now, I don't know when they're going to get the message, Eric. I don't know. Lan's a dude. Hate to say it. Hate to see it on a football field especially, but he is a dude.
And now the game I think everybody wants to hear about.
The game of the week. I'm kidding.
Our University of North Dakota Fighting Hawks, or what I think they're the Fighting Hawks.
Yeah, yep, that's it.
Upset the Montana Grizzlies. I said, but when we picked this game, I really felt like North Dakota had a chance to beat them, and it did not look good early.
No, it did not. I think we checked the score at halftime. Was the first time we saw a score. And I was like, that is not great.
Yeah. The Grizzlies just completely fell apart. I mean, North Dakota made some halftime adjustments, and the Grizzlies had absolutely no answer for it.
Yep.
And they just let North Dakota drive the field on them.
Yep.
I mean, I know it was a ranked team in the FCS, but that's a tough loss, man.
Yeah. It is
I'm not
tough.
sure. I mean, I know, it's kind of one of those deals where the Grizzlies are, we were saying it while we were at the Cat game, the September Grizzlies always fool us.
Yep. They're still hibernating. I'm telling you, they're still hibernating right now.
Yeah. But I think I'm going to buy into it that the Grizzlies they got to figure out some huge things if they want to have a chance. I mean,
Yeah.
Their defense just, I don't know. I mean, all year last year, you knew they had a good defense. Their offense just couldn't score points. Well,
Yeah.
it's kind of both right now. Their defense is not real good at tackling, and their offense struggles to be on the same page a lot of the time.
They are really struggling with a lot of what is just going on in all these games right now, it seems like.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, Gilman ran for 89 yards last week and 86 yards this week, which seems super low for how talented that guy is.
yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't put. I would take 3 of our running backs before I'd even look at Eli Gilman. But I mean, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with this 2 quarterback thing they're running, because it is not working, and their defense has got to figure out how to tackle somebody.
Yeah. Ayat was 21 for 29 in this game, had 145 yards, and he averaged 5 yards per pass. He also threw a touchdown in it. It's not a horrible stat line. I just don't see where the offense was coming from. It must have all been just right away in the first half and nothing else happened for him. But Ayat also got to 145 yards in 21 passes when Tommy got there in 12. So, I mean, it's hard to match that up. I mean, how does Eli Gilman only have 8 carries in this game?
I don't know. I mean, so have you looked at the North Dakota stat line, or their statistics for this game yet?
No, not yet.
Dude, this is crazy. So they won this game with their quarterback throwing for 97 yards and a pick.
Yep.
They won this game with their leading receiver and their leading running back both having a fumble. They did not lose them, but they did fumble the ball. I mean, there's nothing impressive about what they managed to rack up 243 rushing yards.
Yep.
But man, it's not like statistically they weren't the better team.
They ran the ball 49 times and got it to 243. You could make the argument that they were trying to slow this game down while they were trying to make a comeback.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you want a blueprint to stress the Grizzlies out, it's you commit to the run and you do not stop.
Yeah. And they weren't even being that successful with the run.
They didn't really have even any huge rushing plays.
No.
Looks like the longs for everybody listed here is 13, 19, 18, and 30.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't huge. We're not talking the cat huge ones that are like 75, 93, whatever the heck one of those guys is going to break off. These are 49 carries for 243 yards and with an average of 5 per carry.
Which isn't, like, if you're looking at it, if you're wanting to be, our numbers are inflated. Like, our sense of numbers are inflated, is what I mean. Because if you're getting 5 yards a carry as a coach, you are very happy with that. Because that means you run the ball 3 times and you have a first down, no matter what. That is a very healthy running game. But we're just used to seeing that 10 yards a carry, on the average. Yeah. And so it's kind of ruined it. But I don't know. It's nothing about this team's game seems impressive. You mentioned the turnovers. There was so many opportunities for the Grizzlies to win this game, and they did everything in their power not to win the game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I'm so happy.
I'm so happy. Me too.
So happy about this.
I gotta say, I've been thinking about something the last couple days. And it might be something we need to work on as Montana State fans. We cheered way too loud when the Grizz lost this game. I was very excited. And then after about a couple seconds, I was like, this is kind of suspect activity that we are this excited when Montana loses. We should really be focused on our team and not be focused on them. Like, we shouldn't even be thinking about them. But at the same time, we got to cheer every time they lose. You know, it's because of the years of abuse. I understand. You know, we've been abused for years. But I don't think they think about us that much. And they should be. But I don't think they think about us that much.
I'm still going to cheer for them to lose every time I can.
And I know I am
don't
too.
care.
I just didn't want them. I don't want them to feel like they're actually rent free in my head because that's what they say all the time. You know.
Fair,
Yeah.
but still fun to watch them lose.
It is. It is very fun. They are the funnest team to watch lose.
Yeah. So, no, it was a crazy week in college football this week. It was so much fun being at Gold Rush.
Oh yeah.
Seeing everybody, talking to everybody, man, I had a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Cats by 90.
Cats by 90. We were almost right. Second half didn't help out. That's one thing that the
true.
Cats are not doing right now is last year Cats versus the spread was like put your mortgage on it. Cats versus
Yep.
the spread. I think they beat the spread the first 8 games of the season. And it's like that's not happening this year. The spread is not as healthy as it used to be.
Well, and the thing about it is when Vegan is comfortable, it isn't that high of a number anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vegan was comfortable at 35-0, and then it was like no starter is looking at the field again.
Yep.
Don't even look at the field.
Which is the
'Cause you
smart
ain't
thing
going
to
back
do.
out.
Yeah. Do you think that he has more confidence than defense now than he has in the past?
I mean, it could be for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that Vegan is showing that he really wants to enter conference play with a healthy roster.
Yeah. Which is
And
very
he wants
smart.
these guys to go out, do their thing. But the other thing is they're building these leads by halftime. I mean, they're just destroying people.
Yeah.
By halftime. But he is committed to getting our starters out when he is comfortable. And last year, I mean, those blowout games, I mean, we were getting up a lot more than 35 points before the starters were coming out.
Yeah. And I feel like the end of that Utah Tech game may have been a big wake-up call. Where it's like, yeah, we need to get these guys out of here. There's no point in playing these games when we're up 30 points plus, stuff like that. Even though it was kind of a false alarm, so I think it was still a pretty big wake-up call for fans and for everybody there,
Yeah, everybody was pretty scared, but Tommy came out and looked like $1 million. So thank God for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's tougher than people give him credit for.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty happy with how he's choosing to do this. I mean, it'll be really interesting to see what happens against a team like Mercyhurst. I mean, I kind of wonder what the magic number is for him to pull the starters against Mercyhurst, because
I'm pretty sure the starters aren't starting this game.
Well, I almost guarantee you they're gonna get a couple series, but
Nah.
Ben's saying no.
Nah, I'm
no
saying Jordan
series.
Reed starts this game. I don't know. I'm kidding. Kind of. I don't know.
2 consecutive bye weeks for the starters.
Yep, 2 consecutive bye weeks for the starters. You're welcome. We gave it to you. Enjoy the free time.
Speaking of Jordan Reed, he got a little bit of playing time. Chance Wilson got in there. Chance Wilson looked really good.
Yeah. Made one really
Looked
good
like another-
pass. That was the thing that sucked is we didn't throw the ball when those guys came in.
No.
I think Jordan Reed had 1 or 2 passes, 2 pass attempts, and Chance Wilson had 4. It's like, it's not a lot that we can gauge from that,
No. Chance Wilson, with his limited time, did look good though. I was fairly impressed with what he was able to do in just a little bit of time there. I thought I kind of liked what I saw. I thought he was kind of a similar version to Tommy Malott somewhat.
Yeah. I mean, that one 34-yard pass that he connected on was one of the most beautiful passes of the game.
Yeah.
Rolling out, looking like somebody like Caleb Williams or something like that, just off schedule, off the wrong foot, chucking it out there, sidearmed. All of a sudden, it's 34 yards down the field in the perfect spot, Found the open guy in that situation. It was really good. And he did make really good decisions when he dropped back. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was – I mean, there's just not enough good things to say about both sides of the ball, starters, backups. I mean, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
They all looked really good. Danny Yu's brother got a blocked punt. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't have enough good things to say about what I saw on Saturday.
Yeah. Team's looking really good. And now we have just a whole week to think about it, just to think about how good they are.
Yeah, I think we're maybe going to do a little something this weekend, record a little something.
Yeah.
A little bye-week special.
Oh, yeah. We'll find something to talk to you guys about.
A classic Ben and Eric mess around.
Classic mess around. Who knows? We may have to connect with somebody. I don't know. It would be kind of last minute, but maybe we can connect with somebody we met last weekend. See if we can get them on the show or something.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
Yes,
Anything
sir.
could happen. Do you want to do the picks for next week?
Yeah, we'd pick some games.
Pick some games. Keep it
moving.
moving.
Just go quick.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a lot of games.
Week 3. We have Idaho State traveling to North Dakota.
Yeah.
UND gets another shot at drawing some Big Sky Conference blood, and I am 100% rolling with North Dakota.
Yeah, this is definitely the Hawks. I mean, I don't see Idaho State playing much of a game in this. They just finished playing against an NAIA team, right? They were the ones that played Western Oregon. Okay. So I guess they could be riding high off that, but I definitely would go UND for that game.
Yeah. North Dakota for both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we have Morehead State traveling to Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Montana doesn't win this game, I don't really know what to say.
Yeah. They need to have a major bounce back for this game. Honestly, I do feel like they are going to win it. But
yeah. I mean, if they don't win this one, then it's time to hit the panic button.
Yeah, that would be a definite panic button. Right now, they're sitting at first in the Pioneer Conference, apparently. So even though conference play hasn't started, and who knows who they've played in these first two games, but I think Montana's going to have a bounce back week. They'll beat Morehead State.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Pioneer League did get a win over a Big Sky Conference school this last weekend, so.
Yeah, that's true. The Pioneers, they're definitely exploring new territories in the West, if you know what I'm saying.
I mean, I do kind of feel like Eastern Washington and Montana, there's a little bit of a difference between those two, but
just a
you
little
never
bit.
know.
Just a little bitty difference.
You never know. Next, we have Albany, the Danes, Ben's Great Danes.
My Great Danes. I remember riding with these guys all playoffs long,
They're going to get a little taste of the Kibby Dome.
We'll taste the Kibby Dome, Idaho and Albany. This is actually kind of a tough one to pick. Idaho just beat Wyoming. Why do I always want to pick against Idaho? What is wrong with me? What is wrong with my brain? Why is my brain broken?
Okay.
Idaho is 13.5-point favorites.
I just throw this at you. I heard a rumor that Idaho's backup quarterback is now hurt.
What? So they're on their third string now?
There's a chance Idaho could be on their third string quarterback for this game, but Idaho's still going to beat them.
I'm taking Albany.
Oh.
I'm taking the Danes.
He's doing it.
Let's go. I'm with the dogs. Okay? I'm barking with the dogs. I'll be howling at the moon. Actually, it's a 2 p.m. game, so I will not be howling at the moon. I will be howling at the midday sun with the Albany dogs.
will be a fun game to watch.
Yep.
We'll see if Ben can get an upset here.
Oh, wait.
Next we
Next
have
game.
South Dakota at
Oh.
Portland State.
My list is different than yours, damn it. All right, South Dakota and Portland State. What do you feel about this one? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, South Dakota is going to destroy Portland State.
Dang.
I'm guessing 30 points minimum.
I don't want to believe that the Missouri Valley has that much more talent than we do, but I guess Portland State is sitting at the lower half of our league now. There's a lot of teams that are better than South Dakota in the Big Sky. I don't know if Portland State's one of them.
Trash.
Yeah.
They're not good. South Dakota is what, number 6 now, I think, or 5 maybe.
I
think
know
it's
they've climbed. I know they have climbed.
So we're talking about one of the top 10 schools in the FCS versus a bottom dweller of the Big Sky. South Dakota's going to manhandle them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, South Dakota's sitting at number 6. Yeah, this is going to be pretty bad, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, South Dakota wins. Whatever, Dakotas.
All right, Ben. This might be your chance to pick Northern Colorado and get a dub.
Abilene Christian.
Abilene Christian.
Abilene Christian versus Northern Colorado. The Bears haven't seen a spread like this in a long time. Okay? They have not seen just a 12.5-point spread in a long time. It's under 2 scores.
Are they dogs or favorites?
They're dogs.
Oh, what?
They're dogs by 12.5 points, and they have not seen a stat line. They have not seen a spread like that. They're used to those being in the 20s, okay? Low 20s, mid 20s, you know. They're used to seeing spreads like that. Now that I look at the stat lines, looks like Abilene Christian has a killer passing game. But that doesn't scare me in my Bears. Okay? Whoever this quarterback is, this McIver, we're ready for him. The Purple Cats are going down this week. Northern Colorado Bears, first win in 3 years. Let's go.
He said it. I believe in you, Ben. I'll ride that train with you.
Let's go. We're together for once. I knew you'd believe eventually. I knew you'd believe. All right, what'd you got next?
Next, let's see here. I lost my spot.
We at Eastern Washington?
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. Eastern Washington going to Southeast Louisiana. I don't even know. I'm not sure who Southeast Louisiana is.
I don't know. If this helps at all, Eastern Washington are 6.5-point favorites.
I mean, I don't really have any faith in Eastern Washington whatsoever, but I mean, I might tend to lean with the betting spread because I don't even know who Southeast Louisiana is.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can tell you right now, they are playing this game at the Strawberry Stadium in Hammond, Louisiana. That's what I've got for you.
I like it.
That's it. It's a very strong name for a stadium. That is for sure. Okay. So check this out for a second. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a blowout for Eastern Washington, just looking at the team stats balance out here. Okay, so Eastern Washington is averaging 37 points per game. I want you to guess how many points Southeastern Louisiana is averaging per game this season.
24.
5.
What?
5. Yeah. I don't think that they definitely don't have a lot of offensive prowess. I can tell you that right now. Even if it gets into like a shootout and they start, I mean, it's not going to get into a shootout. They score 5 points a game. What am I talking about? Yeah, Eastern Washington's going to win this game. I'm done thinking about it.
Yeah. That's fair. I'm rolling with you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Next, Weber State at Lamar.
Yep.
What do you think?
All right, Weber State looks like they are 11.5-point favorites in this game. Lamar, I feel like I have heard that name before, but I think it's just you making Lamar Jackson jokes. I'm pretty sure that's the only place. Team stats, fairly balanced. I think Weber State's going to keep rolling, though. I just talked about how they have up and down weeks, and they're going to win a game, and then they're going to lose a game. And when I expect them to be good, they're going to be bad. So, logically, Weber State's going to lose, but I'm going to pick them to win. If that made any sense whatsoever.
I mean, looking at the last 5 for Lamar, they had a close game with Texas State, which I think is a quality one, but there's really not much that they've done to really inspire any confidence, and Weber State's pretty good. So Weber State. UC Davis at Southern Utah.
UC Davis, Southern Utah. I think it's just UC Davis in this one. I mean, is there anything we need to know about Southern Utah?
I don't know.
Am I missing something, and it's not just going to be a UC Davis game?
Well, I think Southern Utah is FBS, aren't they?
They are in the UAC, the United Athletic Conference. The same conference as Utah Tech, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe not so good.
Yeah.
They lost 49-0 to Utah in their home opener.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's also
I'm
Utah,
not
though.
going
That's
to
a
pick.
major program.
I'm not going to pick Southern Utah. UC Davis.
UC Davis, both going for it. Sounds good.
Next one is Western Oregon at Cal Poly. Oof.
Western Oregon just likes getting punished, apparently.
Yeah. If Cal Poly loses, that's just embarrassing.
Yeah, that would be a very bad sign for the rest of their season if they lose to Western Oregon.
Both taking Cal Poly.
Easily.
Next, we have a familiar face getting to play Northern Arizona at Utah Tech.
I don't know.
You have to imagine Northern Arizona is going to take care of business here.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was trying to remember the game they played this week because it was the first one we were talking about. And then I remembered that they played Arizona very close. So, yeah, I don't think Utah Tech's going to stand a chance. Whatever are they the Trailblazers? Yeah, the Trailblazers are not going to be doing much in this game.
Yeah, Northern Arizona going to take care of business.
Mm-hmm.
Last game we have is Nichols at Sac State, and we already talked about this one a little bit.
Yep. At least Sacramento State is getting a break from their FBS schedule so far.
Yeah,
I feel good for them.
Yeah. So I think we can both confidently pick Sac State to finally get a win.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe. They've lost to Louisiana Tech, and they played LSU also this season. Lost to LSU 44-21. I'm not seeing any reason to put a whole lot of stock in the old Colonels, the Nichols Colonels, which, like, when they were naming that team and that school, did they just say we want this to be the biggest tongue twister of all time? Like, we're going to be the Nichols Colonels. I can't even say it. It's hard to say, you know. But, yeah, I think Sac State's going to win this game for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's a few entertaining games to happen this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Should be enough to get excited about for a little while.
Yep, plenty of football to watch on Saturday. You know, since we have a free Saturday, we might as well watch some. Get some much needed eyes on these teams because you know our scouting reports are the most important. You know. Yep.
Big time scouts over here.
Yeah, I'm going to be sending all my reports directly to Marcus Monaco so that he can promptly delete them. I think I should start sending Marcus scouting reports just so that he can do the opposite of whatever I scout. Because that, I think, would be a pretty successful coaching campaign.
Yes, sir.
They bring me in
I
as the
think he
cooler.
would really appreciate your insights.
I think he would. I think you're right. I think you're right.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you wanted to talk about before we get on out of here?
No, I think we got it about covered.
All right. Perfect. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Thanks for everybody who came up and talked to us this weekend at Gold Rush. It was awesome to actually find out that people do listen to this show. I mean, we see numbers pop up after we post them, but we don't get a lot of interaction online. We don't get a lot of people commenting. So as I was walking around with the jersey on and having people stop me, stop Eric, say they love the show, stuff like that, means a ton. Really appreciate it. So go ahead and rate us 5 stars wherever you're listening to this at. Right now, please. Follow us at Pawd on X and Instagram. Once again, thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you on Saturday.
Ben will be doing his shotguns at some point.
Oh,
Don't
come
worry,
on.
everybody.
I thought I got away with it. Okay, I guess I will be shotgunning beers at some point. I'll call it 2 of them. I'll do it for the fans, since I found out we actually have some.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
All right. Have a great week, everybody.
Adios.